Podcast about your
see.
real life. Oh yeah.
Nice. Get a job at the Sun.
That's the only thing I want. I think is it recording? Yeah, it's recording. I'd love a swimming pool. I'd love a little mini. I'd kind of like to have everything that I want in the house. So I'd love like a little mini gym, swimming pool, although my own stalls, like my own shed with all chocolate and stuff in it. That'd be weird. What else do I want in the house?
What do you think?
I don't want a bar.
No,
like, it'd be fun for entertaining people, but then would I be more sad if I was sat at home drinking on my own at my own bar rather than someone else's bar?
One thing I thought is cool, which one of my friends from Norwich I met at uni, his dad had a barn, like they had kind of a property, and in his barn he had a bunch of like casks of ales that he bought in or he brewed himself and stuff, and they went on to tap, and he had like his own kind of barn bar with his own beer.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of like, obviously that's a bit extreme, but that is
cool. That is cool.
I remember when I was like 11, I heard I think David Beckham or someone had a 5-a-side pitch with like a basketball net and everything in the garden, and I was like, oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Not to call him out on the podcast, but you remember Jules Ward from school? He used to have like his own football pitch in his house. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't full size, but it was enough to have 2 nets at each end of the thing. It took a while to go from one end to the other.
Jesus,
they were fun times. Hey, Jules, if you're listening.
You're recording?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your opinion on this? You can cut it out.
No, it's cool. This is all going in. This is the intro.
It's it gets deep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it gets deep. Hello.
Wait.
No, put your headphones in first.
what do you think of death?
My Shining Star Children's Cancer Trust.
Sorry?
My Shining Star Children's Cancer Trust tweeted, urgent appeal. Kira has been given just 3 to 6 months to live after 4.5 years. Fighting cancer of the brain. Her dying wishes to find out what happens in the next Infinity War film. The family have tried everything. Please retweet, make Kira's dream come true. But at that point, like, 'cause they posted pictures of her with like her scars and stuff. But at that point, they're not going to do it, so why don't you just have your wish to meet them?
I
was going to say, I would say just ask to meet them, and then when they're there, ask and give like full-on puppy face, and they'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
I know, yeah. If anything, especially with some of the cancer stuff they hear these days, it's like, well, what was that story about the guy, the mum and was it the stepdad as well? It wasn't his proper dad, but they convinced the kid that he had cancer. But it was all rigged just so that they could, I don't know, cash in on it and stuff. But the kid, himself, like they kind of shaved his head, put him through what he thought was chemotherapy.
Well, there was quite a lot of stuff. I watched a documentary on it. Oh no!
Oh, she can hear herself.
You'll get
I hate that so much. And the mum said, "We've got to give you tablets, and you'll sleep throughout your entire chemotherapy." And what they were giving her was sleeping tablets. And when she woke up, they were like, you've had the therapy now, but you'll have a bit of sickness afterwards, and giving her tablets to make her feel sick. So when she was in school.
So how long do you think those parents should get locked up for? Because my first thought was throw away the key. Yeah. But then I was like, that probably wouldn't. And like, what law are they breaking? That's so random and specific.
It's... Oh my God, they got charged with quite a bit. But they've also been scamming everyone out of money of like charities for her. Yeah. They went on holiday and everything like that.
That's one of those where, like, morally it feels so wrong, but it may not kind of come up with the same
fraud
punishment.
And something else, like endangerment. Oh, I don't know. And also imprisonment, because they wouldn't let her
they
go
should
out.
never be allowed children again. They should get the maximum punishment that they can have.
Sterilised.
Well, yeah, give them that. Fuck it. Like, to that point, like, someone's doing those actions because they want to, not because they are forced to, or because they have like a mental inability to think like, normally, so they do this in this way. Like, they're doing that cold and calculated. Fuck that.
Not even that they tell the kid, listen, we're getting some money. It's they told the kid that they're probably going to die. Yeah. So the kid told the friends that they were scared they were going to die, and even the nana got arrested for it as well. But the uncles and stuff believed it. So they all believed that their niece was dying.
Yeah, the uncle took the kid into his own, started looking after the kid, didn't he?
Yeah.
If I remember the story correctly.
There's quite a lot of different cases, so it's easy to merge them.
Guys!
That was loud.
Yeah. I hate this. I'm not doing this again.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. This is the first week you guys have had the headphones in, so you know what you sound like on the podcast now. I am Matt Lidster. I don't know why I'm introducing myself. We're talking about Shaun of the Dead.
Hey.
Dead Sorry, Shaun. Shaun. Don't worry, I didn't let one off. Shall we do it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
You guys are here. Dill's here. Soph?
Yeah?
Yeah, she's here. Let's do it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tripod Talk, where we talk anything and everything about films. My name's Matt Lidster. I've already said
that your name's Matt Lidster.
Yeah.
Should we say our names?
If you want.
Nah, you can say them.
Okay, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, the sour-faced Miss Sophie Ellis.
She'll love that.
It's mainly because she's just frowning at her phone right now.
I always frown at anything. I can't help it.
There we go. That's why you're sour-faced.
Thank you.
And Mr. Delamoire.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, have you guys had a good week? I've had a good week.
I literally now can't think of anything I've done in the week.
Yeah,
Been
I've
to
had a
work.
long
Except
week.
work, yeah. So, yeah. It's been bearable.
Variable.
Variable.
Oh, bearable. There we go.
Yeah, no, I don't have any interesting stories. I saw my dad the other day.
Ah,
He's
was he
doing all
drinking?
right. Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, straight after work he rang me and he was like, I'm free, are you free? I was like, yes, I'm free. He was like, meet me at the pub in like half an hour. I was like, okay. So I got dressed because that day I was off, so I had to get dressed for the first time that day and go outside, but it was good.
Oh.
That's how exciting my life is. Every other day I've just been in work. It's been great. But speaking of other stuff that we like to talk about, that's not our lives, film news. Unless you want to talk about the film straight away. Should we mix it up?
Should we just stay quiet for as long as possible? No, we'll do film news. We'll get that out of the way.
Yeah, all right then. So who wants to kick us off?
Dill?
Sophie, you can go.
Oh. What a bad move.
I've got one piece of film news, which is just what I just told you guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just get started then, shall I?
Go on then.
Go on.
The Flash casts America's Got Talent star as Ragdoll. So it's a contortionist on Britain's Got Talent. Fuck me.
America's Got
It
Talent.
Are you all right?
To be fair, Americans Got Talent is more accurate.
Yeah.
Because it is a show of Americans who have got talent.
But it's not.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
British.
British Got Talent.
No, it'd be Britons, T-O-N-S.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is...
Shown up on
That's
America.
all right.
Anyway, he was a contortionist on America's Got Talent, and they hired him to be this Ragdoll character on DC's. Do you know much about the Ragdoll character?
I don't know anything about the Ragdoll character. I don't watch the Flash series. I don't do anything to do with that, really. That looks kind of cool.
He's a cool looking character, but DC's not really a massive
The only thing is, though, what's he supposed to do against the world's fastest man?
I don't know, mate.
I don't... Yeah.
Yeah, Flash to me seems a bit like kind of like you'd think he'd be perfect. Like he could do anything. Like even the whole Infinity War could have been solved by just having that dude. Because you just, I don't know, do things so quickly, pick up the Thanos guy, just move him to a distant planet.
I mean, it is DC.
That's what I mean. So I'm saying, like, if it went across the thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they'd make so much money if they did that. Just like worlds colliding, different dimensions, and DC met all the Marvel characters.
Yeah, well.
That's the next phase.
DC needs to pull it together first, I think.
Yeah.
Get competitive with them.
Oh, got Aquaman to come on.
That's probably the reason why they killed off Quicksilver.
I like
because
that.
they foresaw your plan in
That was one
for
of
Infinity War. It's like, no, we'll kill him off early so that we don't have that issue.
It's one of the better scenes in those films. Those speeding around things.
Yeah.
I always prefer Evan Peters' version, though.
The X-Men one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good scene.
Sorry, Saf. Would you
It's
like to
alright.
continue? In your own time.
I'm still tired. It's Sunday morning. Reel to Reel, the true life heist movie that steals the facts. So there's a new slippery thriller, American Animals, which will see an unusual title card which reads, "This is not based on a true story." The next things we know is the words "not based on" have also disappeared before our eyes. So it says that it's a heist movie kind of based on facts but mostly fiction, but it's down as a documentary. So how does that work?
Yeah.
To be honest, it just sounds like you put a load of words in a sentence there that don't.
So
go
it says,
together.
it says this is not based on a true story, and then the not kind of fades out, and it just says based. Okay. So to me, I'm getting annoyed with the whole based on it, because they're taking that to such a distance.
Yeah.
It's like there was a crime in that country by a person with a similar name, so we'll call it based on a true story. But I don't think audiences really care anymore.
I think the novelty of that has definitely worn off.
Unless it's like something specifically, like, do you know, like The Big Short, like it was a financial crisis, or like they're going to do the Thai Divers film. Like those, I can see it being on it. But where it's just a generic crime or like, you know, Pursuit of Happiness type story. Maybe not Pursuit of Happiness, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, for me, I think it's like all the exorcism and horror films where it's like, this is based on a true story, and it's like, was The Conjuring based on a true story?
Yeah, because it's about the Warrens, isn't it?
Like, it's taken much of a liberty there with what they actually did.
But see, this is the thing though, with The Conjuring 2, they actually, in the credits, they shown photos of what happened in the real cases years ago and how they reenacted it, so I kind of understand in that way. But if they use it in, say, Blair Witch or any other film coming out, it doesn't really work.
See, to me, with a horror film, it would just be you're profiting off someone who's either clearly mentally unwell or just someone who did a really good prank.
Yeah.
But other than that, or just like someone who had a weird reaction in their like the fear of the moment. But it doesn't feel like it really. I'm gonna see that message come up and be like, oh, this could happen to me. So like,
Yeah,
I
actually,
think I'm all right, thanks.
The only time that freaked me out was The Strangers, because it's based on a true story of a couple just getting home and people breaking into the house and killing them just because they wanted to, because that can happen, and that does happen.
Yeah,
So
it's like similar to Eden Lake.
Yeah,
I've still
I was
not seen
thinking of
that.
that.
Yeah,
That's a
but
really good film.
don't say anything because I've still not shown Soph yet.
I need to watch it again. I recall none of it.
Hey, we should do that for the podcast.
Hey,
It's
I-
on
It's a super dark
Netflix or
film.
something.
is it?
It's
Isn't it
on
got
one
Jack
of them.
O'Connell on it? He's kind of a big deal now.
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh,
I know
maybe-
it's got Fassbender.
Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. I know that like O'Connell did horror films like a teenager, where he's like kind of a rough lad around the area before
lad.
Skins, and now everything he's in.
With okay, I got what you meant. I thought you said foreskin.
I
was
thought you
like,
said four.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I wouldn't know about that.
So let's move on.
So, is it Danny Boyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has stepped down from directing the Bond film, and the new favourite is Jan Demange. Is that his name? Demange.
Oh, I know who he is. He's
Oh.
a very weird filmmaker, so that'd be a strange pull.
Yeah, he said he can't wait to work back in the UK, and his favourite to take over.
They might rewrite the script as well, apparently, which is fine.
Which I don't get, considering like the reason he left was because of dispute with Daniel Craig, right?
Yeah.
Over like who the villain was.
Yeah.
Why is Daniel Craig the arse? Like, he's been so flip-floppy about this whole series in the first place. Like, you think he wouldn't really give two shits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
strange.
now suddenly, like,
he's whinged so much as well about the injuries and stuff like that. It's like, we get your point, but you're taking 50 million. You could
exactly.
literally punch me in the face all day for 3 years for 50 million. I'd take it.
just once a day, like right on the sweet
Yeah,
spot.
that's
I'd
fine.
take that every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a short
As long as I could
Daniel
wear a
Craig.
gum shield so I don't like fuck up my teeth or anything.
I'd fine.
What would you do
Pay
for
the
50
dentist.
million?
Sorry, I completely zoned out because I was just reading future film news, and all I heard was, I'd take one in the sweet spot. And I was like, what?
What would you do? What horrible thing would you do every day for 3 years for 50 million?
Because he's getting paid a ton, but he likes to whinge about it, doesn't he, Daniel Craig?
I don't know. Horrible things.
Yeah,
Name
exactly.
some stuff and I'll tell you if I'll do it.
Lose your right forearm.
Oh.
I've just got real grip. But
No.
50 million. You could get like a prosthetic one. It'd be
No,
cool. You
I
can
don't
crush
want
cans.
Right. Could I?
That's the first. No.
No, because if it was my left, I'd be straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Although,
Teach yourself to be
how much
left-handed.
does like a proper robotic one cost? Because I feel like that could blow my budget already.
Oh, 50 million. Say
It's
it
not
costs one or
50,
two for
yeah.
a really nice one.
Have you been looking on the black market?
I'm considering it.
Oh yeah, no. If it was my left hand, 100%.
Yeah, you can't do shit.
I can't
with
do
that.
shit with my right. Like without my right hand, I don't see a future for me.
There'd be some kind of hand therapist who you could, hire
Hello.
for a couple of hundred. All right.
Just a couple hundred, eh?
Yeah, they're very reasonable nowadays. There's a lot of competition. The economy's bad. Any more film news?
Yep.
You didn't answer the question. What would you do every day that's bad? Like,
know,
if I can
same.
think of something that's horrible.
I can't think of something that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I'll do that.
Everything
Alright.
I'm going to think of is going to be really dark. So.
What if you have to sit in a cockroach-filled bath
Fine.
for half an hour every day
No.
Yeah, I'd do it. 50 million.
Every day.
50 million.
for 3 years?
I could
Every day for
rationalise
3
that.
years. Not
Yeah.
a fucking chance would I do.
I just look
But
at my
for
most
50
recent
million?
payslip. And I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it. Fine.
Actually, do I have to be naked?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because if so,
Do they bite? I don't know.
I don't know, but they'd crawl places if I'm naked.
Oh, that's grim.
Nah, alright, you get to wear like a wetsuit.
I didn't
You get to
wanna-
wear a wetsuit and glasses. Or goggles.
Oh, fine.
What a
Yeah.
fashionable bath.
I'll do it for 5 mil. This is why
I'll do it for 10 grand.
Right.
I was going to say, this is what I always find really funny about this, is people always say the most inflated things where they're like, oh, no, I wouldn't do that for 10k. Or like, you know, and then you're like, well, mate, I know you would do that for like 400 quid. Like, people just really exaggerate when they know it's hypothetical. I'd rather just be like a bit more honest about it and be like, yeah, I'd probably do. I mean, this is a massive...
Yeah, let's
Move on.
just move back. Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
Anyway, not like you would have seen the first one.
That's
I'm
a
not sure
podcast
if
in
you
itself.
did.
Sorry.
Death Note 2 coming from Netflix.
Oh, I
Which
thought that was a series.
This is why I was getting annoyed. Yeah, it's season 2.
Ah, okay.
Well, no, it's not. Sorry.
Oh.
It's based on a series, but they turned it into a film
Ah.
with Nat Wolff. And you saw one of the characters, Ryuk, and the creepy looking one.
Yeah. Is that Willem Dafoe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's good, isn't it?
somehow they're making a second one, even though... Yeah, I've got a lot of hate towards that. Anyway.
So it was a series. It was a manga series, right?
Yeah.
Or anime, and then they made it into a film on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a Netflix original film, but they completely ruined everything. So this one character that was this pasty white character, long black hair, and all suspicious was this
I
black
wonder
guy
why
with
you
the
like that.
balaclava. Huh?
I wonder why you associated with that character.
Shut up. Anyway, I'm annoyed about that.
Yep.
Hans Zimmer will compose Wonder Woman's 1984 score.
Did he do the first one?
I'm not too sure. He said after Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, he was retiring, so no.
But he technically did the Wonder Woman theme because that was in that film.
Yeah, but he might have done it beforehand. Because the Wonder Woman
I just
theme-
meant her actual specific theme, not like the whole soundtrack. I meant
Yeah.
No,
just
that's
that.
what I mean. That,
Yeah.
that was in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
But
now
he's
he's
come
coming
back.
back to do that. Okay.
Did any of you watch Veronica Mars?
No.
No, but I heard about
Kristen
it.
Bell?
Kristen Bell and her big breakout series.
Detective
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's reviving, planned with her to come back.
Oh.
On
It's
Hulu, though.
interesting.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
so,
Yeah, sorry.
you know.
Speaking of
What?
Kristen Bell,
Go
Good
on.
Place, season 3. No,
Is
3
that
or
coming
4?
out soon? 3.
Oh, three.
Three.
It's definitely
Yeah.
3.
I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Yeah, it's
I
coming out
really
next
like
month,
Good
isn't
Place.
it?
Is it next month?
It's September next month.
Oh, bloody hell.
Sure.
Atypical season 2 is coming out next month.
Yeah.
Carl Pilkington's new show is coming
Oh, is
out.
it?
Yes.
The end of the month.
Great.
Yeah, I do want
Quite
to
a
watch
lot
that.
going.
Yeah. What else is coming out? I shouldn't have
That's...
said
But-
that.
Yeah, you should not have said that.
Jesus.
Last Love It?
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Dill?
I mean, I've got a few quick bits. So I told you the
Ooh.
production for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has been put on indefinite hold with this whole
Mm.
It's
consternation
just so
over
stupid,
the
isn't it?
director. I don't see Disney pulling back and rehiring James Gunn, though.
No, they won't
I think
now.
they're going to wait for the noise to settle and then just quietly hire someone else and start happening. Although Dave Bautista is going to continue going mad on Twitter about it, which I love him endlessly for.
Yeah.
I like that he's not, like, he's putting his morals where his mouth is, which is not a phrase, but sod it. Kind of just quick bits of casting news here is Dominic Monaghan's been cast in Star Wars Episode 9. I like Dominic Monaghan. He's the dude from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That could be good. Disney are they're going to start production on a live-action Pinocchio remake next year.
Oh, dear.
I know, that will be great. Black Panther, by the way, they're going to do an Oscar campaign. It's coming to Netflix in September. Although I'm a little concerned that might
Is
be
it?
American. Yeah,
Oh, why?
because they've got all of the Marvel films on there, I think.
No,
They said they were going to stop.
yeah, they're pulling them all off, so it's
Yeah.
interesting to...
Maybe it's like it gets a last hurrah.
Yeah.
They've offered Zendaya the part of Ariel in the Little Mermaid live action remake.
The
Who?
little action.
Zendaya, is that what she's called?
Zendaya.
The YouTube person? Alright, I don't know. She was in that terrible film
Really?
you like, so.
Hey.
This is news you'll actually really like, because at the end, you probably already know this, but the end of the fucking world has been renewed for a second season. Gonna go on Channel 4 and Netflix.
Oh, baby.
You need to watch that.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Oh, honestly.
I might watch that next week, actually.
Yeah, it's very
I've got a
good.
good amount of time to blast through it.
Good.
All right, just going back to the Zendaya news.
Yep.
Right.
You're going to do the race thing, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
She's not white.
Well, yeah. But, I don't know. Like, I'm all for diversity.
No one can tell this morning.
I
love
know.
the dance group.
It's just that. Hey, Britton's got talent.
All right,
Boom.
be careful,
Full
by the
circle.
way. The top comment on Instagram is get ready for all the racists to come in.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
watch
yeah.
your step.
Like, if that's what they're going for, like, diversification, that's great. It's just, I feel like it's a bit forced.
I don't know, because it's a mermaid. So if it was like a normal historical character, then I'd be a bit annoyed. But with it being a mermaid, I actually think it kind of helps to look a bit kind of, because she's mixed race, I take it, and she's kind of hard to place. I think that could actually kind of help with it looks kind of more right for a mermaid.
It's just, specifically the character of Ariel is, like, as white as they come.
With red hair.
Yeah.
You can dye her red. Yeah.
No, I think it's alright.
Yeah, like I say, if that's what they're going for, then that's great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel now, like, specifically with certain roles that they're putting in, it seems like a bit forced for me.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it plays out.
I think there's enough of a bad history it's okay to go a bit too far the other way to play it safe. So
Yeah.
I'd rather them, like, I don't mind if it's a bit like, are they going over the board? Rather than just to kind of prove the point that
Over the board.
over the board, yeah.
Over the board.
Over the board.
See,
Did
it's
you hear
not-
about that woman who fell off the cruise ship? She went over
Yeah.
the board. 10 hours she was in the water.
Oh, wow.
It was on the news all day at work. I was like,
Really?
how is this the biggest thing happening in the world? One stupid lady fell off a boat and
Did you
didn't
see-
die.
How do you even fall off?
I don't know.
Like,
She was pissed. I
the
reckon
sides
she
are
was
pretty
pissed.
high.
That's what kept her alive, by the way.
wouldn't be,
She was
yeah.
so warm from all the vodka.
Yeah, because there's that other thing in the news, definitely going off topic. Did you see about that couple that died on holiday in Egypt?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about the details though. Just that two people did.
Yeah, it was like he died of a heart attack and then she died in hospital a few hours later due to a broken heart. Like,
Oh, is that one of those things? That
yeah, but the daughter was saying that like they both suddenly became ill, but there's no gases or anything in the room, but it's a bit suspicious.
I mean, what did they do? Like, because then people get a conspiracy theory, don't they? And they're like the Egyptian government, and it's just like, yeah, because
They're going to target those. Yeah.
Gary from like who works at the McVitie's factory.
Yeah, I know.
so specific.
I know it's the closest thing I could think of. It's actually quite near to us, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It smells amazing
I
when I
know.
come home
Does
from
smell
work.
good.
It's great to drive by.
Drive by. Give me the biscuits. Fucking hell.
Give me the biscuit.
Get that
That's
on
a
a
criminal
fucking
voice.
t-shirt, am I right? Ah.
I'd wear
So-
that.
give me the give me the biscuits.
It's like Friday night dinner. You guys have not seen that?
No.
No.
They asked. There's a character called Jim who's like a weird neighbour, and they ask him. They're like, "Oh, Jim, do you want any biscuits?" And and he goes, "Yes, I'll have 12." It's like a weird dude. Well, yeah, I was like, God,
I
such
do
a
that
British
anytime
thing.
someone asks me for stuff. I'll ask for an obscene number. So, like, if I go around to my mum, she's like, "How many sandwiches do you want?" I'm like, 7. She's like, "No, you can't have that." I'm like, "You fall for it every time." Speaking of mums,
Okay. Oh.
Oh, there's a mummage.
what?
Is this where your segue is going?
What's going
I was trying to, but I have no idea where to go to be honest.
The-
But we're talking about film.
We are,
Oh,
yeah.
We're talking about film.
Shaun of the Dead. Right, we talked about film news. Talking about this film now. Shaun of the Dead came out in 2004.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Something
Now
about
on
then.
Netflix.
First
Amazon Prime.
feature film of first feature film between Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg. Yeah.
Yep.
After they worked on Space together.
Yep, which is a really good
previously.
series.
Yeah, I still need
All
to watch
for.
that. For what? But no, it's about Shaun, his mate, and their lives during the zombie apocalypse, and events follow from there. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was
It's a
a
good
good
film.
summary.
I love this film. Go straight into it. It's a classic. It's been a staple in the horror series, I would say. Even though it's relatively new, but I reckon you can compare it to like the...
Be careful.
Dawn of the Dead and that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah.
Because Romero he cast him as extras, didn't he, in his Dawn of the Dead remake, because he was such a big fan of the film. That Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg are both extras in that film.
Oh, cool.
So like it's taken a real beloved place in the whole landscape of the zombie stuff. As one of the better kind of, possibly the best kind of comedy about it.
I thought that I'd seen the film the entire way through, and then I realised that I've only seen it from when he goes to the shop to get the cornetto, and he's like, there's people on the street, sort of zombies, and he ignores them, and then comes back, and then there's some zombies in his garden. That's all I'd seen. Yet in my head, I thought I'd seen the entire
That's
film.
right. Do you know, coincidentally, I just saw Edgar Wright. God, that better not keep happening. He tweeted that somebody put that scene up, and he tweeted that was the first thing they shot. They shot the zombie bit first when he was walking from his house to the shop, that one shot, and then they shot the just normal day scene second on the first day. But he deliberately likes to do the most difficult shots on the first day, which is a really unusual way of doing it. I think a lot of directors would rather. Like Christopher McQuarrie, who did the Mission Impossible films we watched recently, he's the opposite. He wants to build into it a few weeks in so people can get their rhythm. Yeah. But I think that was more of a technically difficult scene than like a kind of character. You know, I can see why it doesn't matter as much to get into your character to do that particular shot.
Yeah.
I do love that kind of shot, to be fair. But just before we're going to go into that stuff, excuse me, what do you think of the actual story itself? Especially for the time that it was set. Because it's funny, like, looking back on it now for me, I think it's still a great film, great hold up. Like, it holds up very well. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love the transitions. I love the way that the shots are done. I love the way that the characters react in that world, the way that they think. I think it is genuinely quite a British masterpiece.
Yeah.
Even though it shouldn't be, but it is.
It's a very British film. That's what I kept thinking watching it.
But, completely forgot what I was going to say.
I like the fact that it kind of went at the angle of like, you know, the zombie thing is like in our everyday life, how many people are just kind of just getting by in a kind of zombie state. Like it made that point to me really well. So I like that. Like in the credits, just like, you know, the supermarket guy with the trolleys and Shaun walking to the shop to get a can of Coke to the local, like that stuff we all do on automatic.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah, I thought you were getting that, yeah.
Like, all I was going to say was interesting was all the people on their phones. And it's funny because, like, obviously we didn't have iPhones, like, at that point. But people were still kind of looking down, just kind of walking around like zombies. Because that was kind of a big point that Edgar Wright wanted to make. Yeah. It was like people getting more kind of zombified in terms of, like, their social media and stuff that they were doing on their phones and stuff.
Was there any specific reason you said iPhones?
It's because, like, that's the staple of it now. Like, obviously, you can, like, do anything on an iPhone, really. Or any phone, really, now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But, I mean, that was the phone that set everything off.
Okay.
Like, so that's
just the fact that we're not that observant as well. Like, everything was just in the corner of the view. Would be like, you know, the guy eating the pigeon, to give a specific example and stuff. But just, like, the way... Because it makes me realise as well, you know, when we walk around, you don't notice so much of what's going on because you're just into your own, keeping yourself distracted bubble.
Yeah.
And then, like, even... I think it'd be funny for people to just walk around the area where they've lived for however long they've lived it and just really look about and what around. And I'm sure you'd be like, what? We've got like a pet shop there, and like, how long has that how long has that shop been boarded up? Because I remember that so well from a kid, but like, just don't think we notice that kind of stuff.
That's self-life.
I do that all the time. I walk in Stockport with Matt and I'm like, whoa, when did that shut down? It's like 4 months ago. I'm like, what? I walk through here every day.
Yeah,
I noticed it when I'm trying to like direct people or something like that, where they're just like, "Oh, so how do we get to your office or your house?" And it's just like, "Well, you turn at the road, and then you follow the tree." It's really hard to give any decent directions to anybody.
I have to get my phone up to show people. I'm like, I know where it is if I was walking it, but I can't give directions. So if you just look at this, there you go. But anyway, going back to Shaun of the Dead.
Even just like the kind of, even the generational thing of like just the being stuck in childhood, the kind of people you've got. So like Shaun's a little bit doesn't want to be a real adult, especially his mate Nick Frost, who's called what again? Ed. Yeah, Ed. Like Ed, like one moment that really made me laugh, which is like very much put me in the place of being like a 13-year-old, was when Shaun says he loves Liz, and Ed goes gay.
Yeah.
That's the exact thing. Everybody, both genders, like everybody in that age fan would have been like, if anybody had said anything emotional about that, it would have been. And that's again another part of like very British thing to me. Like I think in America, if they watched that, they'd probably laugh, but they'd be like, "That's weird." Whereas here, it's just like, "Yeah, that's what we're about."
It's a bit gay, yeah.
It is a bit gay. Anybody loving anything or saying anything genuine is a bit gay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they get called out on it immediately.
Yeah.
Can we just say it though? Like, I know that he doesn't take his girlfriend out that much, and they go to the pub, and the friends don't get along.
Yeah.
But just because he didn't book this restaurant right,
I think it was
she
a
just
last straw
split-
thing to me.
Oh,
So
still,
it's
it's a bit of a.
Because she gave her the last warning, like, you know, she was on the edge the night before. He talked her out of it, and then he sodded it up. So I could see where she's coming from.
Yeah, but then.
Yeah.
Plus, imagine she knew him, like, you know, you met a guy on holiday and he's super ambitious and exciting and stuff, and then you get home and he works at, like, you know, he sells hi-fis
Yeah,
with a
good
bunch
point.
of 16-year-olds. Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing, he's just a pretty underwhelming person. Which
Yeah,
a lot
because
of
that is
people
what
are.
happened. Was it? They met in Greece, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Which I like those little touches. Like you just kind of you get like a off sentence here and there, and it really builds this like world
Yeah.
and these characters in them. Plus, just like the initial talk, like right at the beginning, there's a scene between. It is the first scene of the film is Ed and Shaun talking in the Winchester.
Yeah.
But then as they keep talking, the camera pulls in different angles, and you actually see it's not just those two in the
isn't it him
scene.
and his girlfriend, and it pulls out, and she says, "It's not
Oh,
that
yeah,
I don't
sorry.
like Ed," and Ed is there, and then.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I got mixed up. But yeah, it's those two in the scene, and then
It's not
different
like that.
angles
Don't-
show like
yeah.
their best mates sat right next to them, and like Ed's right next to him on the machine, and I just love the way that Edgar Wright works with that,
They
and
use that
also
in Arrested
the
Development.
writing in that as well.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
They what? Sorry.
They use it in Arrested Development with
Yeah.
with Tobias and with the guy
Buster.
Buster. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really really
Yeah.
good joke. It's just so dense, this film, to me. Like every bit of dialogue as well has really kind of good like jokes to it. Good smart dialogue. Like there's the stuff with the personal calls at work, where he's
Yeah.
like that also serves the plot that he's not really listening to us, so he doesn't order like book the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that just really again, it's really kind of smart to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, as well as the phone calls, I was going to say the background noises, like the actual sound design in this is really good, building up to like the reveal that the zombie apocalypse has happened.
Yeah.
Because you start to hear more and more sirens throughout the film, like in the background. If you go back and watch it again, you hear a lot more like panic in the background
Yeah.
from like the outside world, and it's like, I
And what
wonder
they
what's
did
happening.
flicking with the TV channels.
Yeah,
And
with
it's-
like
Yeah,
all
I
the
loved
news
that.
stuff that's happening as well, and like some weird stuff's happening or mystery, something happening here, or someone's been like eaten or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not that example, but there's examples like that that kind of build up in the background of this film, where I just think it's a really good touch to build up to this moment.
Yeah, because not only that, there's like a full sentence that's made through people talking in the real world and on the TV, and it cuts
Transitions
between
through,
it.
yeah.
It's so amazing the way they do that.
I think it's cool as well that I'm fairly sure Edgar Wright's used the same sound editing and sound like the same people, and they all got Oscar nominations for Baby Driver.
Oh,
So
really?
just like he's taken the people with him through,
Yeah.
and like, you know, that close team of producers and him, Nera Park
That's
and
cool.
Tim Bevan.
I
Still
like
need
that.
to watch that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we meant to watch it, just never got around to it. But just one more thing about like technical work and stuff like that as well. For me, is the foreshadowing, and this is more in the actual. You just done that, yeah. The foreshadowing in the actual story as well. I'm sure you actually have examples of it, so I'll pass it over to you in a minute. But oh no, he doesn't.
Panic.
What a pressure
But
thing. No.
no, there's a lot of stuff that happens in like the first half of the film
Yeah.
that actually foreshadows what happens at the end of the film and the way that things happen. And it's like, I think you appreciate them more when you watch it again. Like you don't necessarily get it
Yeah.
the first time round, but when you watch it again, it's like, this happens and
That-
it goes into this.
His
Yeah.
conversation with Ed in the Winchester like goes through the entire beats of the film. Like he says, we'll
Yeah.
have a drink with we'll have a Bloody Mary. That's the girl, checkout girl in the driveway. There's a bunch, like there's a whole few paragraph which goes through the entire film.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like when Ed goes, next time I see him, he's dead. And
Yeah.
then that's the guy who's dead in the shower, their housemate. There's a lot of stuff like that where they do it literally, and then also kind of in the way people come in and out of scenes.
Although there's one thing I remembered about that. What was that character's name? I can't remember.
The one who's played by Peter Serafinovich.
Yeah.
Call him Peter.
Pete. Yeah.
Is he called Pete?
I think he's
actually
called. I
called
think he's
Pete.
actually called Pete. Yeah. And it's their roommate or their flatmate. Sorry.
His brother.
No, the flatmate, the tall guy.
flatmate.
He's not their brother. The one who's dead in the shower.
I thought that was Simon's brother.
No, they went to uni together.
Yeah, they all went.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And there's something interesting. Like it's kind of adding something to it that's probably not necessarily there. But in terms of the actual zombie lore itself, it seems as though these zombies actually understand and like interact with people.
Yeah.
Because his character, when he actually ends up at the pub, which I have no idea how he gets there, but he does, he actually reacts to when his name is called as well, which is really interesting because it's like, oh, are these?
I think
actually, I know it's not like needed to kind of go into it, but at the same time, it's quite interesting to think, oh, they added that as a specific choice.
I think it was partly for the jokes of that, and also, do you remember with his stepdad turning off the tape in the car? Because Simon Pegg goes, there's nothing of his there's nothing of him left, Mom, and then she's like that. But then I also think it makes it interesting in a bit more of a morally kind of ambiguous way, where if there is still part of the person in them, then is it as okay to just kill every zombie you see? So I do like that kind of added bit of confusion to it, and what they did, which is what we'd all have to do, is just put it out of sight, just put it out of your mind, and just keep surviving.
Yeah, also just to add that as well, right at the end, not to give it away. But you've had years to watch this. Fuck off. But Nick Frost's character Ed is in the shed, and the player 2 has entered the game. It's like what? And then obviously it turns out he's a zombie chained in the in the shed.
So much.
But it shows that he kind of recognizes him and understands what's going on. So it is that weird morally ambiguous question, even though that obviously that wasn't really originally put into the story. It's something that we can kind of get out of it.
Well, another bit of like that made me think of the whole our generation wouldn't be as, I don't think we'd be as freaked out or like paralyzed with it. So like the scene that made me think about that, like made me really think that be the way I reacted, was where they hit the guy with the car, and then they panic and they reverse back, and the guy gets up and start moaning, and then Simon Pegg goes, "Oh, thank God." Because I think we would also be so desensitized by seeing so much stuff that we wouldn't be like freaked out every time we saw a zombie.
Yeah.
We'd just be like, oh, did I kill a person? Oh, it's a zombie. Oh, thank God. But like, I think the way we are now, we wouldn't be as like just like perturbed by it happening. We'd just roll with it and just try and have a laugh with it and get by the way we already do.
Isn't it? Don't you think that's cruel though? Sort of keeping Ed in that kind of vegetated state.
I think, being dead is being dead, and he's still kind of, if there's a bit of him functioning, he still gets to play PlayStation and hang out with his mate.
See that? I was going to say as well. Just, like, there's another bit of foreshadowing. I swear there is. That Ed says he'd rather just kind of stay playing video games and like for the rest of his life, or doing something like that, and not really growing as a person for the rest of his life. So it's interesting to find out that that is actually what he does with the rest of his life.
They definitely refer to it in advance. I can't remember why. I feel like they mentioned the shed in some way.
So would you want to be kept that way?
No, fuck that.
But like Ed isn't ambitious or anything like that. He just wants to get through the day to day, just get stoned and play a game and not really have to think about anything.
Yeah.
So he's almost already a zombie. So to that point, it's just continuing in a zero pressure environment. He doesn't have to pay rent. That kind of thing. I liked what they did with Noodle as well, where like you just know just how casual he's a drug dealer. Like that felt quite.
Oh Jesus, bless you!
I'm trying to move the mic. So.
You did the best you could.
It was not bad.
Yeah, I think like the perception of drug dealers is like, you know, these big gangs and like, you know, rooms full of farms and stuff, and just the fact that he just casually calls a mate and does it, deals 20 people, calls Noodle, and then the joke with Noodle being working for Simon Pegg as well. Yeah. Just that all adds to like the density for me. Like they didn't miss an opportunity to throw a little joke in or like have the world collide a bit more.
Plus, we figured out halfway through the film as well that guy is actually now a big Hollywood actor.
Yeah.
And looks nothing like...
Rafe Spall.
Yeah.
He's in Black Mirror. And
looks so weird.
Jurassic World, he's the bad guy in that. And it's like, oh, wow.
He's a bad guy in Jurassic World, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, oh my God, that's weird.
Well, there's quite a lot of people that are sort of cameos in that. Like I read Russell Howard, there's a guy from Little Britain, which bugged me for ages to figure out. Well, who else is there?
There's Chris Martin. I think the reason why is they put on the Spaced fan site, we need extras to play zombies for our film. Anybody come? And then like just a bunch of people who are fans of the show came. And some of those, because like that was a very ahead of the time comedy show, just turned out to go somewhere in comedy because they were on the scene already. So it's cool that kind of happened, and they paid him all £1 as like kind of a reference to what Romero did, which was pay everybody $1.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you get to be a zombie in a Romero film, so you don't need to be paid.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool as well. Like, it's there's a lot of love in it. Like, you can feel in this that they've really big fans of the genre, and they wanted to kind of play with it in a way that still pays its respects to the previous people who've done these kind of things.
Yeah, and like the fact that it took on something new and is still relevant to this day is a testament to their own work.
I still like that people dress up as Shaun for Halloween.
Because it's so easy.
Just white shirt,
Yeah.
red mark with his name tag.
I think it's just so easy to emphasize with those characters as people, like sometimes when you're watching films and you see all these like, you know, heroic people going from this like thing to thing and like amazing like on the spot MacGyver skills to get out of situations, and you can be a bit like, oh well, I would have just rolled in a ball and like ate myself to death by now.
Yeah, there was a scene where Shaun was running to jump over a fence.
Yeah.
And the fence collapses, and his position when he falls just gets me every time.
Well, it's the scene where he tries to be cool, so it's the moment that would be cool and impress the girl and everything, and it's just like in real life that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But you just play it off and the girl will find it sweet and it kind of works anyway. But it's just a lot more, it keeps it real the whole time.
Plus, I like how that's a recurring thing, but we can go into that some other time.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that I'd bring up, but I think it can be forgiven because of the type of film that it is, and it's the belief that I can suspend for a bit. You know, when Ed is on the phone to whoever he's on the phone to,
Noodle.
Is it Noodle?
Yeah.
But then all the zombies just stop and watch them.
Yeah.
Like, it's a funny bit, but at the same time, I'm like, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But in the context of the film, it kind of works. So it is something that I can forgive, I guess.
I just like that they use the zombie thing as a metaphor. Even with Liz, where she's like, I don't want to just be going to the Winchester the rest of my life. I want to go out and explore. Like, it felt to me like Edgar Wright, because he was like, you know, mid-20s at the time, say. He was seeing a lot of people in his generation who didn't know what they wanted to do, and they were in this kind of, to sound douchey, like malaise of like just getting by and not really knowing what they wanted to, who they were. And like to use the zombie thing to reflect that, I think is why it's taken on such a big popularity, because everybody feels like they'd want to be Shaun, like they'd almost capitalize on it and they'd use it as a moment to be heroic and get everything together in their life. Because every now and again I do think, like, sat when I'm bored at work, I'm like, oh, I wish there was some kind of apocalypse and I happened to survive, because then I could just, you know, I'd either survive and it'd be cool and I could kind of get by and just think minute to minute, or I'd die and I'd be dead. But like, it'd be better than having the whole kind of not having to think ahead for your whole life and not really know what you want to do and stuff like that, and all that stress we're all under.
Do you think you'd survive?
Yeah.
Oh, fully,
for a while, do you?
For a bit, yeah. Not long.
How long do you give yourself?
It depends the kind of apocalypse. If it's like a viral one, I'm probably screwed.
Right, put yourself in the same...
In this one?
In this universe.
I think I'd be alright, you know.
I think I'd be
They're
alright.
alright. Yeah,
Because the
I think
zombies
this
are
is the only one I could.
pretty alright.
Yeah.
They're not runners, which is nice. To be fair, they asked Edgar Wright, how come the zombies don't run? And he basically had, it was a good quote, I can't remember what it was, but effectively just, you don't get quicker when you're dead. So to be fair, it doesn't make sense that like you die and then suddenly be like fucking marathon athlete, like leaping over buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I'd be okay though.
Yeah, this universe would be fine because you can coerce the zombies to either kind of follow you like a sheep and then kind of round them up and put them somewhere to be put down, and then you can kind of go about living the rest of your life.
Sorry, just as a quick thing, you know, because zombies come after you.
Yeah.
You know, everyday thing. Do they come after you because they smell you're alive, or they sense? Because there's a scene where they're all pretending to be dead and merging in and pretending to be a zombie.
Most films and stuff where they do that, they have them roll around in like, you know, goo and body and stuff like that to disguise the smell, but they didn't bother here.
Yeah.
So maybe these ones just look and see it, but it doesn't really make much sense. And the noise, I suppose, they're always brought by noise, aren't they?
Yeah.
Quiet Place style. That's not a
Yeah,
spoiler.
because zombies don't eat themselves. So, which is such a shame, really.
Because, it'd be alright.
Because if the zombie apocalypse happened, there was a load of zombies and they just start eating each other. They just eat each other until they all died.
Did you get annoyed by the fact that at the exact second, like, the army showed up and saved everybody? Or did it feel a bit because it doesn't to me, but I can see how some people would be like, oh, okay. convenient.
Yeah.
And then just everybody's okay, even though everybody died. Like, thousands of people died, but you just get back to the day to day.
I think that was the only way they could have really kind of set the narrative going in terms of like this character's come full circle now and this is how they grow as a person. Although at the same time they show them in the same house doing the exact same thing, really.
But the house is tidied up and they're like
that's the only
people,
difference. Yeah,
and they're in like a nice relationship kind of mode you get a feel for.
Oh, have you ever seen The Mist?
No.
Oh,
right.
Fuck
the ending.
that.
The ending of
Can
The
we
Mist.
spoil The Mist for you?
Yeah, I don't care.
Never watch it. It's
Never
the
watch
worst.
it. It's
Is it a TV series?
It's
I've watched...
it's the original film.
Okay, because I've watched like 3 episodes of the TV series with someone and it was pretty bad, but not the worst thing in the world.
Well, the end of the film, after all of this, they're driving through the mist to escape.
Doesn't he kill his dad or something?
he kills his family.
His wife and his 2 kids is like 3 bullets, and he was like, "I'm going to shoot all 3 of you, and I'll just succumb to the mist." He kills all 3 of them, and then they
clears.
like
it
well,
clears
people,
and the army come along.
yeah, save him,
my
and now
God.
he's got to know that he's killed. I was fuming, but that's what it reminds me of. Like everyone's sort of died, and the army come along right at the last minute, and it's just like, fuck's sake.
Jessica Hines brings them.
It's very weird considering that they didn't get shot.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
that
They
blew
would
my
have been
mind.
shoot to
Yeah.
kill, you
They
know,
would have been
anything that
friendly
moves.
fire.
Yeah. But I don't know. Thinking about it more, it's probably. I think I loved the film that
didn't annoy
much,
me in it.
where it's something I can kind of forgive. So
It
it's
didn't
not
annoy
something
me
that
in
would
it.
bother me. Yeah.
The one thing I can't believe we haven't talked about, which is like the Edgar Wright specialty, is the we haven't really got into the transitions, but
Oh yeah. No,
the way he transitions between scenes and time is like the best I can think of anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just for the first thing that comes to mind is when Simon Pegg gets in drunk. Again, more drunk acting, by the way. He's probably done as much drunk acting as anybody in cinema history. But he gets in drunk, he writes the note on the fridge, and he passes out on the chair. And then it's just the way it cuts from that to the morning with the light going through and stuff like that, and him reading the note. But just all the little transitions and the way it moves forward, this film is really kind of effective and nicely done.
Yeah. No, I've not to like call myself a little shout out here, but I've paid homage to Edgar Wright in one of my films.
Yeah.
Couples Therapy. Go and watch it on the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, well, where does that do an Edgar Wright thing?
It's the
I was
bit
there
which
for that.
yeah.
No.
Like that, okay.
To be fair, you didn't edit it, so
That's
you know.
true. Yeah.
It's the scene where after there's I don't want to spoil it for you. It's basically a time transition between the 2 characters doing one thing and sorting it out.
Okay.
If you get what I mean.
Oh, I see. Yeah, drag.
Yeah. Drag indeed.
That's good.
That's
little
great for
teaser there.
anyone listening.
Yeah.
Drag doesn't tell them anything.
Yeah, that's right. That's fine.
Exactly what the fuck are you on about?
Makes them watch it. Having read.
So last thoughts on this film.
It's a good film.
It's a great
We've got
film.
a
It's a
couple
good
more
boy.
films that we want to
Yeah.
go through.
Great boys, yeah. Shall we put this through the 10-star movie review
Sure.
Let's
challenge
do it.
thing? Yeah. So this is the 10-star movie review where we put films through the ultimate test. For every question we vote yes, that film gets
1 star.
yes. For every what's the ultimate goal?
10 stars.
That's it. Oh, the 3 of us, the majority vote wins. Oh, half stars for contention when necessary. And a small disclaimer, the ratings we give don't always...
Oh,
I tried to do it without the...
You tried to do it without looking.
They don't always match our enjoyment or experience of the film. This is just a rating
rating
system.
Cough,
Are
cargo.
you ready?
Way too strong.
But that's zombies. So, you know.
Yeah, theme.
Which are better zombies, real quick? Cargo or
Oh,
Shaun
this
of the
one.
Dead? This one.
Wait, which are better, actual zombies or better zombie film?
Both.
Film this one. Zombies. Probably
Cargo,
Cargo, but I don't really
Yeah.
remember Cargos, to be honest. Are
The
they
one with the
quick?
honey eyes.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
creepy. That's
yeah,
creepy,
it's creepy
as
as
well.
fuck. Right, so question number 1. Does the story make sense?
Yup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question number 2. Did the script and the dialogue between characters feel natural?
That's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
one of the better parts of it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
100%. Question number 3. Did you believe that the world of the film existed?
Yeah.
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 Especially as average British people, like this, we all know those guys. Like, go to the pub.
Yeah, they definitely
hang out
hide
with the
out in the
girlfriend.
pub as well.
Those kind of like half-assed relationships where you're just together to not be alone.
Yeah.
No, no. I don't know anybody like that, by the way.
Question number 4. Did you believe that the characters existed in the world of the film?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Question number 5. Did you get emotionally invested in the characters? I don't know if I can say this personally because I've seen this film quite a lot.
Do you think the first time you watched it when his mum died and he had that scene, like, I do think Simon Pegg does a lot of good emotional work in there, actually.
Yeah, he was. I think when his stepfather died and he was like, he's not my stepfather, but, you know, like,
he's my dad.
That entire build-up.
Yeah.
I got a bit, like, emotional over that and when his mum died. And Ed at the end.
I think maybe half star I'd be happy to give. Because I wasn't obviously getting real emotional, but I think they hit the beats well. And I was like, I believed it when he was like upset, but he did have to kill his mum and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Half star. Question number 6. Did you like the visual and audible elements of the film, especially for the time?
Oh, yeah.
But there are some great shots in there, like the like just the use of shadows. So you know, like when he goes into the bathroom and finds Pete, and he's in the with the mirror, and you can see his shadow there, and it's like, oh.
That was a callback shot as well, because he looked at him in the mirror previously when he was alive.
Oh yeah.
So like there's a lot of callback shots and stuff like that in here.
This film just keeps adding, but even just like I tell you one shot that really fucking creeps me out. So even though it shouldn't with these zombies, but you know when he goes downstairs and like flicks all the switches to get them all right, and he just looks to the right and all the zombies there, and he just goes like that with the shutter.
That freaks you out.
Yeah, imagine that. There's just black, and then you just turn it on. There's just like all faces.
I mean, it's not like a shock scare, but it is a scary moment. Yeah.
I mean, if you put yourself in that situation, that's what I mean. Yeah, obviously in the film, I'm not like, but if I was that person, I'd be like,
oh Jesus!
There we go.
You knew it was gonna happen. You just wanted to do it.
Yes, I did. What's another good shot? All the zombies' shadows around the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going into more. I think it might have been me, but I think it was my hand more than anything. Anyway, question number 7: were you diegetically absorbed into the film?
Bear in mind, it's like the 9th time I've seen it. Yeah, and I think I will have been every time, pretty much, because there's so much in there. That's what I mean when I keep saying like the density of it. Like every shot, every bit of dialogue might be a reference or a callback or a joke or a foreshadowing or something in there.
Dense. Sorry, I thought you were going to stop earlier.
He was holding. I know you're holding. I almost wanted to keep going deliberately for that reason.
You know the meme with Syndrome.
Yeah.
You're like, sorry, that's all. Question number 8.
So yes, that one.
Yeah. Did the film have a good ending?
No.
Oh,
she's
I
adamant
was so
about that.
annoyed at this.
I like the ending. I think it's sweet.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give it the star.
No.
Sorry,
personally, because I think it rounds up nice.
Why did it annoy you?
What?
Yeah.
You knew it was gonna annoy me.
No, yeah, but why did it annoy you? I want to hear you explain it.
Because why can't it just end as it would, where the zombie would be dead? Like how, when the army saved him, they were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna come." It's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna go and collect my mate from the basement of the pub and then bring him home and set him in there with all the game console."
Like he had the idea afterwards,
and
he was still down there in that locked basement. So he was like, "Oh my god, Ed's down there," and then he went to get him.
But if the army's coming to shoot them all, why wouldn't they go through the pub, check everything?
It's true. If you do that, then you can rule it out. But that kills a lot of every film. Whereas to me, it was just like it was more the kind of like the force, like they called it forward.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just impressive that like they set that up earlier, and it's like, oh, that was cool, nicely done.
To be fair, I think it's more just of a case of it's there for a joke.
Yeah.
Than anything.
Like that's what.
So like it doesn't have to make sense. So it's just like, that's a funny bit. Nice way to end the film. Done.
That was the way I thought about the dad with the tape stuff and everything. Like I didn't think about it as making a point too much. I just thought about it. They wanted to stick the joke in that there's nothing left of him anymore, and then he turns off the tape.
Yeah.
But then like when you do think about it, maybe there's a bit more to it. But to me, the film's mostly made to just be kind of silly and funny.
Yeah.
Like the stuff with like Ed saying gay and stuff like that.
Also, I can't believe we've not even referenced the whole. Which song is it? Don't Stop Me Now. Queen.
Not the Queen bit, yeah.
Like choreographed hitting the old zombie with the pool cues.
That's like a callback. That's like calling ahead, by the way, to Baby Driver, which is using music to play through the scene, like using the rhythm of the song. And that's all Baby Driver is about. Is that the action follows the beats of the music. So it's really cool to see, and it's also cool to see that he was into it at then, because he's really into his music, Edgar Wright. It's just cool to see like such a unique, like nobody else could have made these films beyond Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright. That's what I think special about this kind of Cornetto trilogy. Yeah, is that they need that specific kind of, film loving but messing about British sense of humour that I'm glad is translated kind of worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really wish that Marvel had kept him on for Ant-Man and that they didn't have creative differences, because I would have loved to see that version of it.
I think it'd have a more advanced sense of humour, because the sense of humour now is a little bit kind of just going off Paul Rudd charisma, Whereas if you threw in a script written by Edgar Wright, I think it would be so much more kind of like intelligent comedy to it.
Did you know?
Did you know that he was attached and he pulled
I
back?
thought that you meant that Simon Pegg was Ant-Man. At
No,
one point,
no.
I was like, when the fuck?
No, originally before that even like it was supposed to be part of the first phase, like phase 1.
Yeah.
But they just had development issues. But they brought on Edgar Wright to write and direct Ant-Man originally,
Oh, okay.
and that was supposed to be along with like Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk and that kind of stuff. It just got put off and off and off, and then finally they just kind of separated because I think they kind of had their formula by that point.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, did you enjoy the film? Question number 9.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And question number 10: did the film have a personal impact on you?
No.
Nah.
Nah. It's nice though. Maybe it would if I was ever like making films properly myself. Like I think there'd be a lot of Edgar Wright influence in there. But as in terms of like the way I think or anything emotional now,
Well, it got a solid 8.5 stars.
It did indeed.
I still can't. I never think to add it up. It's always such a shock for me when you say the number.
Which is 8.5 the same as Cargo?
Oh, it better not be worse than Cargo.
It's worse
Can
than
we
Cargo.
please re-review Cargo?
Right now, it was a good film.
Wait,
It
what
does
was
not
Cargo?
deserve
9?
9. It's
9.
9.
We do this
It's
every week and it's
It's
just
ludicrous, isn't it?
No.
We're going to bring
no,
this
but
up every week, man, until you're not to
We're
review it.
reviewing Cargo. I'm not sure of that.
We've seen so
We'll
many
just, we
films.
don't have to watch it. We'll just do the stars.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, we do it now. It gets 6.
Ah,
No, it's
right.
alright.
Anyway, we're going to do a separate podcast where we're going to go through all our different zombie surviving techniques. I've just made that up now.
Oh, have
Don't
you?
worry. Don't think that
I
I
thought
said
we were
it
going
and
to do
you
a
forgot.
podcast where
but
we just do what would you do for this amount of monies? And just every week go up
I'd
like
be
a
alright
certain
with
amount
that.
of money.
yeah,
Start with 100
that's
quid.
coming. Tripod Talk spin-off.
Yeah, we're doing all sorts now.
What talk?
Because
Right?
we already have so much free time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Anyway.
sarcastic, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We're busy as fuck.
But anything else before we sign off on the podcast?
No.
No?
Watch the film if you haven't. It's on Amazon Prime.
I thought you meant couples therapy. I was like, it's not.
Yeah,
on
watch
Amazon's
that too.
Prime,
It's on
but-
YouTube. It's alright. It's good.
Yeah, go watch Shaun of the Dead and Couples Therapy. That'd be great. Thank you. But anyway, thank you very much for listening to this episode of Tripod Talk. If you'd like to keep listening to us, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, any sort of podcast platform. There we
Nailed it.
go.
Hey.
That's
You
Dill's
did it.
part.
Nice
yeah.
big breath.
But yeah, no, thank you. We'd appreciate it if you subscribe, like this, share it around, do whatever you have to do. My name's Matt Lidster. I've been joined by
Dylan Watt.
and we have been talking about films and stuff.
Hey, a lot of stuff this time.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, a lot of stuff this time. But we'll see you next week with... Maybe not next week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see.
We'll see you soon.
Cliffhanger. Yeah.
Cliffhanger. Last ever episode. Dun, dun, dun.